as a celebration was to buy myself a Lamborghini. However, after calling my fixer in Shenzhen, China, it turns out that you actually can't get a Lamborghini for free just because you are a micro creator online. I was devastated by the news. I mean, how am I going to drive around Los Angeles scaring homeless people for clout with my 5.2-liter V10 engine? Sorry, I got carried away. What were we talking about? Yes, gaming mice. Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you the Lamborghini gaming mouse, also known as the UNC Emity on the streets. Why don't we take a look at the box and see what the beautiful people over at UNC are promising us? Just like the MHO's A60HD keyboard that we made a video on 2 weeks ago, this box is fairly modest and does not overpromise anything. It tells you that the mouse has tri-mode connectivity, meaning Bluetooth, cable, and dongle. It is lightweight, comes with an 8K receiver, and can do up to 30,000 dpi. Now, this receiver is what makes this mouse special, at least on paper. That is the thing that lets the mouse go fast, just like a Lamborghini. So, why don't we open up the box and unleash this beast? I can tell you with confidence that this mouse does feel good. It feels really solid, even though it is fairly monitor, an NVIDIA GTX 1080 or the AMD RX 5700. And for the CPU, it has to be nothing less than an Intel i7-9700K or the Ryzen 7 3700X if you're rolling with AMD. This is the first time that I have seen something like that, but it does make a lot of sense. If your mouse is running at 8K polling, it reports to your PC every 0.125 milliseconds. That is almost 10 times more than a cheaper gaming mouse would do at 1K polling. All of those reports have to be calculated by your computer's CPU, so it naturally puts a significant strain on it. Another thing that is very important is a screen that can do at least 240 Hz, because if you're playing on something worse than that, the screen bottlenecks the performance of the mouse. So it does move more smoothly, but you don't get to actually see it, since your screen would not be able to catch up to it. Another very important thing is that this is not enough either. You need your PC to be able to give you a high frame rate in order to match the 240 Hz refresh rate. If you have a 240 Hz monitor but run a game PAW3395 and is the older brother of the PAW3311 that is commonly used in cheaper mice such as the Maker Light Click that we have reviewed in the past. Now the PAW3311 is a great sensor, but the PAW3395 is pretty much the same, but faster, stronger, more accurate, and more reliable. It also offers an adjustable lift-off distance. That is important if you are going to be replacing the stock mouse skates. Talking about the skates, these are actually pretty good in my opinion. I mean, of course, if you were to swap those out with 4-dot skates, they would glide even more smoothly. But I still want to point out that these are some of the better stock skates that I have encountered. Now, for the most important part, my personal experience with the UNC M2. I tested it for a little over a week and did mostly some casual gaming, but I still managed to get some competitive FPS action in there. You know, people often say that pulling rate is a marketing strategy and you won't even notice the difference. I can definitely tell you that it is not true. However, keep in mind that I have a pretty high-end PC with nothing holding this orange beast pack, so the experience might vary. Using 8K polling really felt different, not in the sense that, wow, my aim has instantly improved, but more in the sense that it felt like I now had even more agency and control over my mouse. Like you might have guessed by now, it's not going to turn you into an amazing gamer. But if you are an amazing gamer to begin with, it can definitely add an extra edge to your gameplay. I hear you scream. You have been ranting about this mouse for an eternity already, but still have not mentioned how much it costs and whether it is worth buying. My bad. If you decide to get the M2, it is going to cost you $60, which I think is a fair price for this mouse. If you go looking online for gaming mice with similar specs, they start at $60 and go all the way up to $300. So I am sure that you would not be overpaying with this one. I don't feel comfortable making big claims like, this is the best mouse ever, you should totally get it, and stuff like that, because my experience with mice is smaller than with other things. So there's always a chance that there's something better out there that I don't know about, and I obviously don't want to mislead you. However, I am pretty sure that this is a good mouse that comes at a fair price. So, if you like the carbon fiber texture, the color, and the razor fiber shape, and don't mind the mouse weighing 63 grams, I think it is definitely a viable option. Although this mouse was built for high-octane gaming performance. It is fully capable of daily tasks, and if you are planning to use the mouse more casually, turning down the polling rate to, let's say, 1K will increase the battery life significantly. This is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for being a part of this week's review, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked this video, please leave a like, and if you enjoy what I do, consider subscribing to the channel, as that helps me get my hands on cooler stuff to show you. I want to wish you a good rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you